The old grandstand at Victoria Park once hosted hundreds of horse racing fans. At the moment, it's home to Colin.
I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. I hope that they wouldn't be in the situation that we're in, because it's financial-wise, living-wise, family-wise, it's a big thing.
The 41-year-old has been sleeping rough for 3 years, but it wasn't always this way.
I have lived a good life, just like everyone else. I used to judge. I had a car and everything else. So if I could have it all back now, I would.
After a stint in prison a decade ago, Colin lived in supported accommodation. When that closed, he was forced to couch surf.
I want to be out of the streets. It's not good for anybody, because sleeping on concrete, it's not good. It's not healthy for the body, soul, anything. I want a roof over my head.
Last year, when COVID struck, Colin did get a roof over his head when rough sleepers were put up in hotels. Despite everyone's best intentions, it didn't work out. Colin broke the rules by having a guest in his room and was kicked out.
I couldn't live like that, in a sense. It stuffed me up for going back to another hotel, so it pushed me right into a corner out in the streets. I even looked for caravan parks, which are full.
The emergency COVID accommodation response did work for some. Battling mental health and drug addiction on the streets, Troy was connected with a support worker through the scheme. He's now moved into more permanent public housing and is enjoying the little things once again.
Sleep in my own bed, hot showers. I do a bit of art, and doing art makes me feel happy and content.
With a roof over his head, he can once again plan for the future.
I used to work in the building construction trade, so I'm hoping to find something as labour and some sort of building construction sort of type work.
There are many complex reasons why people become homeless. And while the government's pandemic motel plan didn't solve homelessness, it did have a significant impact. Motel beds were found for 542 rough sleepers. A third of those were helped into public housing, while about 60 others went into supported accommodation. The government is hoping to have a longer lasting impact through sweeping changes it's making to the way homelessness support is offered. The inspiration comes from half a world away. In Glasgow, homeless services have formed an alliance, which is funded as a whole to work toward the same goal.
It's all about collaboration over competition. It's bringing organisations to talk together, talk with each other, leave individual agendas at the door and focus on what's important, which is ending homelessness in Glasgow by 2030.
In South Australia, the government has used a tender process to condense 75 different services into 5 alliances. The man leading the charge is Ian Cox, a 30-year veteran of the sector. He says rough sleepers guided the process.
They thought the services themselves can improve in many ways in terms of sharing of information, and they often felt that they went to one service and then they'd go to another service and then another service as well, and they often thought that probably meant that there was a bit of an uncoordinated system as well.
While homeless services seem to support that principle, in reality this major shake-up of the sector has proved controversial. The tender for the contract to provide homeless services in the region, including the Adelaide CBD, has been won by Lutheran Care, a consortium involving several of Adelaide's well-established homeless services missed out. Those agencies are warning they'll have to shut crisis beds and shed jobs. Among them Catherine House, Vinnie's Men's Crisis Centre and the Hutt Street Centre, which Ian Cox led for 16 years.
Yeah, there's still opportunities for them with some of their service provision. So yeah, we know that those organisations will be grieving in some respects, and sometimes the clients will grieve along with them.
But one housing advocate says the SA reform is missing a key element.
These reforms are not accompanied by any increase in the net supply of social housing. So it's difficult to see how housing outcomes are going to be achieved, whether we have the best system in the world or not.
The government says 20 public homes a month are allocated for rough sleepers, and it's looking for more ways to help. With a long winter ahead, Colin is just one of many waiting for a place to call his own.
We're still in line in that sense. All we can do is wait it out, and hopefully things get better, weather-wise, people-wise, and Adelaide-wise, more or less, so yeah.